chat. We are unfortunately having some problems with our stream this evening. We do usually use another app, but I decided to go ahead and give YouTube a try tonight. So we are going to see now if the third stream is any better than the last two we did on the last app after making a few changes there. So we're going to play around here tonight on YouTube for a minute. We do have some new gear, so that's why we're here tonight, testing out some new gear. So nothing special on the stream tonight, just trying to get some kinks worked out and get some gear set up properly so that when we do use it, everything is A-OK. We're having some problems with internet connection tonight. Dvorak, hey, enough. 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 No, sir. Dvorak's over here chewing on the fencing. No. Nah. No, sir. You know better. You know better. So I'm going to have to assert myself and do a little dominance assertion here. No. This is not yours. No. Not yours to chew on. I know that hurts, huh? Putting your skin in your teeth, doesn't it? You can chomp on my finger all you'd like. No, sir. No, sir. Not sure how that's looking. Like I say, we are having some internet issues tonight, so we're just trying to stream out here on YouTube Vice, the app that I typically use to stream into my YouTube account. Dvorak is currently chewing on the fencing, so I am trying to quell his interest in that, showing a little bit of space assertiveness here, or space dominance with him to get him to redirect his wanting to chew on stuff somewhere else. Attempt 20, I know, right? That's what it feels like. Appreciate you hanging out with me there, Scythe, and helping me figure it out. How's this looking though? Is that any better? Welcome, guys. Glad y'all are piling back in. Appreciate you hanging on tonight. This is our third attempt on trying to get the stream right this evening. Looks like we're having a little bit of issue with our connection with the app I typically use to live stream. And the quality is just not coming out that well. So we are back and doing it on YouTube now. And hopefully the quality is better and we're not buffering here every other minute. So I would appreciate it if you guys let me know again, everything looks okay to you, not too bouncy, internet connection is good, all that kind of good stuff. Hey. It's nice to see people coming back. And if you're new to the stream or haven't called us before, this is your first time, I want to welcome you. If you're not subscribed, feel free to do so. And while you're in there knocking around in the channel, go ahead and kick that notification bell around a little bit and get it to ring. And of course, you all know what that does. Let you know anytime we go live or post anything. It'll keep you up to date with the channel and what we're doing. I see you looking at me. Yeah, that look out the corner of your eye. That's an assertion of your dominance telling me you're going to do what you want to do, huh? You know, there's been times he's been close to doing backflips when he's jumping for stuff. But he's not too keen on that, so... I'm going to assume that everything's looking pretty good, though, Scythe, since you haven't said anything about the quality being crap yet. Yeah, he's Dvorak. He's typically very well behaved. I don't ever catch him out here chewing on stuff, unless, of course, I'm not paying attention to him either inside the kennel, or if I'm outside of the kennel and he can see me or knows I'm outside. Obviously, he wants to be with his pack. So he understands or has figured out that if he does something bad, that will get my attention. So for all you guys that say it's like dealing with a child, and I tell you, yeah, it's exactly like that. It's exactly what it's like. It's like dealing with a angry, devious little deviant of a child. Is it really that bad? Man, I don't know what it is, man. This is crazy. I've got a good signal on my phone. Like, we're just using regular cell service right now. Have a good signal. It's a clear day. Counting the pixels, man. Well, I don't know. I guess it's maybe it's just because there's so many people home right now, or somebody nearby that's using the cell tower I'm pulling from is using a whole lot of something, pulling data from it. That's part of the problems you deal with living in where I live in the middle of nowhere. Unfortunately, there are times that are good to stream and times that are just not. It's like watching TV at night until everybody goes to bed. You know, sometimes you get a little bit of pixelation here and there. But once everybody goes to bed or during the day when no one's home, like, it's great. It's perfect. No problems with anything. Yeah, there you go. It could be. It could be a YouTube problem. It absolutely could be a YouTube problem. So I know everything on the phone is up to date. You know, I know all my apps are up to date. I can see that I have a good, I've got like less than full bars here, like one less than a full cell signal. So it's a clear day. There's no clouds. The sun's out, So I'm pretty sure that the mitigating factors here are probably back down to YouTube. There's probably an issue with YouTube processing video right now. Yeah. So I have Dvorak as a companion animal. I have PTSD and an anxiety disorder from my military service. I am a combat veteran. And since I happen to have over 2 decades of experience with these animals, I thought, what better way than to find a new purpose in life, give life some new meaning, and what better of an animal to connect with on a level is almost impossible, or basically impossible to describe until you experience it yourself. So that is why I have him. Unfortunately, years of, I've served in 3 different military conflicts over the course of a decade, and some of that service was in naval special warfare. Even saw times like while I was in the fleet before I went into special warfare, that were, ships were at real general quarters, due to potential threats. And just being in some of the places I've been and doing the things I've done over the years. Unfortunately, that pays a price on your body and your brain. And although it's not the ultimate price, some and many would rather pay the ultimate price than live with the trauma of war. So that's probably a quick and down and dirty as to why I have Dvorak, and a little bit of my daily struggles. For those of you that are not familiar with, and this is way off topic, but for those of you that aren't familiar, although the last I checked, and I could be wrong, veteran suicide rates are extremely high. And a lot of that comes from post-traumatic stress disorder, and dealing with all the things that come along with that once you leave the service and try and reintegrate yourself into civil life. You're gonna have to rephrase that, Roblox, so I understand what you mean by your first question there. Thank you. I do appreciate that. When people tell me, that they appreciate my service. Unfortunately, I'm not proud of a lot of things I did, and I usually tell people that I would prefer to forget most of it. I'm glad I served. I'm proud that I served, but for the most part, it's something I'd rather forget. Of course, I served during a time when the world was in a lot of discourse, so I think it might be a little bit different for people serving today. I can't necessarily talk about every place I was deployed for obvious reasons, but I spent most of my time in the Mediterranean. That's probably about as much as I can say about that at the moment, but we did some operations here stateside. We talked a little bit about that in a previous stream. We did do some reconnaissance or work here along the shores of the United States while I was attached to Naval Special Warfare in conjunction with SEAL teams and the United States Coast Guard, along with other things that I can't really talk about, but most of my normal scheduled deployments were across the Mediterranean. Saw a whole lot of the world, experienced a whole lot of different places and people and religions and foods, and for the most part, those were all great experiences. A lot of places that people believe are horrible people in horrible places. For the most part, that's not true. Most of the places I went, the people were more than welcoming and loved that we were there, appreciated the fact that we were there, were very kind and giving to us. A lot of them offered their homes and their food and tours around the town. And, so most of these places, these people would give the shirt off their back to you. It was great to see people stopping by this evening. Love it. If you guys are interested in learning about wolves, although I don't claim to be the end-all be-all of information about these animals, but I do have a good deal of knowledge and do have connections with people that have even more experience than I do. So if I don't know something, I'll try and tell you what I know, and if not, I'll reach out and get answers, hopefully from people that I know that know more than I do. Yeah, I saw 44, so we're definitely getting some records. Love it. Glad to see that people are starting to really connect, and we'll hopefully continue coming back. Hey, they're from South Africa. Love it. Let me scroll through the chat here real quick. He digs for a lot of reasons. I think, don't quote me on that because I've been wrong before. I think I've gotten, I don't make it a habit to take his buried food from him. As I've told you guys before, wolves will chase food for weeks and months at a time, especially in those winter months. Dvorak knows that he has fresh food available to him daily. So his need to bury food here is really just as a way to kind of, in his mind, preserve and store and protect it from, obviously, what he knows to be the other predators around here. He's very aware that there's coyotes and fox He knows that there are prey birds around here. So he's trying to hide that food and mask the scent of that food as best as he can. I think he gets some enjoyment out of it. I mean, he hides treats, he hides stuff that's for him to kind of chew on and eat, like his tracheas and collagen bones. So that's just the natural kind of, the DNA coming out in him. It's just natural behavior. No one's ever taught him to do that. He's never been around an actual pack of other animals that have taught him how to do this. Yeah, but that's right. It is. It's good enrichment for him. But it's something he does quite often. But I don't think there's any other buried food out here. I have disposed of most of it. I don't want it to get to the point where, and it wasn't over the last few weeks, but it's starting to get warmer now. I don't want to get it to the point where there is like fly larvae and maggots growing in it. He will not eat that stuff. He's very aware that that's no longer any good to eat. So yeah, you gonna scent rolling something? You found something yucky back there? He's digging in. There's a lot of built up mulch back there, so he's probably finding some mold or something under it, and he's rolling around in it. But anyway, he understands that he has food available to him, so it's just a part of his brain that's doing what he knows how to do naturally. I've gotten most of that food out of here now that it is getting warmer. Again, I don't want this place to be full of flies and bugs and maggots. Oh, did you find something you buried? Did you find a chicken leg? It looks like you have a little chicken leg, huh? Are you going to bring that to me? Are you going to bring it to me? Yeah. This is here you go. Old dried chicken leg. And man, is this thing dry. It doesn't even smell. It's so dry. Are you going to chew on that? Like it literally feels like paper in my hands. It's so dry. Are you going to chew on it? Yeah. So there you go. This should show you that he brought something that he buried and knows is a high value item to him. He brought that right to me. So that should tell you the type of trust that he has instilled in me to bring me a high value item like food that he knows nourishes him. Are you mad that it's not breaking as easy? I know you don't like to work hard, puppy. I know you're a lazy butt. Yeah. I know you're a lazy butt. There you go. Go do it. What do you want? I'm holding it the best I can, Dvorak. What is it you would like? It's not me. Trust me. It's you. There you go. Come on. Chomp chomp. You are being so lazy. Well, here you go. See? And this is part of why he buries stuff. Again, wolves will chase things for months and months at a time, and this is why they do it. They want a snack. They want something to eat. He actually put this one deep enough that it preserved it instead of going rancid. Okay, you go. You go do something with that. But there is a good example of that right there for you. But I think I've gotten all that food out of here. I don't want all the maggots and stuff growing since the weather is getting warmer. Dvorak was 5 weeks old when I got him. My breeder could not get him away from mom for the first 2 weeks or so. Getting these animals, it's not, I mean, even though some dogs would be the same way, wolves are very much more protective of their pups. So it took her a good 2 or so weeks to even get close to those puppies. And then she had to, of course, start getting him. They don't come to me completely vaccinated, but she had to, of course, get him to a vet and get him some vaccinations and get him dewormed and all the things you kind of need to do before you hand over a puppy to somebody. So I got Dvorak at about 5 weeks old. Remember, we got a comment a little earlier about his color. For those of you that are not familiar with the subspecies of wolf that Dvorak is, he is a Eurasian gray. This is typically a mix of DNA from the Asian, European, and Arctic wolf. You'll get all kinds of different variants of this basic color. Some of them are very dark. Some of them are more light colored. That also can depend on the regions they're coming from, where they're born, more prominent DNA inside of them. So you will get a variation of color, but it's generally a variation of this coloration in some shape or form. Huh. What? I don't know what you're looking at. These animals are slightly smaller than the North American gray. So Dvorak may grow a little more as he finishes out growing here into adulthood over the next month or so. But they are typically slightly smaller than what most people are accustomed to seeing. And they do have a few different traits. Their ears are not always as furry. They are slightly longer than most other wolves' ears. Again, if you look at like the Canadian, which is what most American wolves are today, or Canadian wolves, or what used to be the American gray, their ears are a little shorter, placed slightly different on the head. The North American gray or Canadian wolves, their heads are more boxy. So they have a slightly different skull feature than the Eurasian has. Yeah. So there are several different features that are a little different. No, I mean, now obviously, none of us speak Candid, so it would be hard to know if he was actually lonely. There are some tail signs that you can look for that would give you a clue that the animal may be lonely. I don't think Dvorak is lonely at all. He loves being out here. When he's inside and doesn't want to be out here anymore, he will ask to come back out to his kennel. He comes out here willingly. I don't have to fight him to come into his kennel. Like right now, he's asking to go out because I'm not paying any attention to him. He wants to go out and wander in the woods. He wants to sniff around. Like if I take him out on the leash right now, he'll pull me up and down the street, around the yard, into the woods. Like he'll just pull me all over the property. He just wants to go out and explore. So if anything right now, he's just more bored, which is why when we started the stream, he was over here chewing on part of the fencing. I know. That's why he continues to walk over here and look at me. He's trying to tell me he's bored and wants to do something else. This is just one way that he will tell me he's bored. He's giving me some signs like, hey, I need your attention. And now he's walking over here and he's going to show me this is what I want. There it is. And he looked at me. This is what I just figured he would do. Walk to what he wants and look at me. This is another way he'll tell me what it is he's trying to tell me. He will paw at me and then get me to follow him, make sure I follow him somewhere and show me what he wants. No, you're not moving that rock. And even if you do move that rock, there is 6 inches of concrete under that gate. That's like 3 foot by 4 foot. It probably weighs 600 pounds. I know you're strong, pup, but you ain't that strong. So, does he get lonely? I'm sure he does. I mean, think about us. Even when we have tons of people around us, family, friends, loved ones, we can be lonely. So it's not necessarily, is he lonely? I'm sure he does get lonely at times. That's why I spend a lot of time out here with him. I do, like I've said before, I come out here several times a day. If I have the time while I'm out here with him, I'm typically out here anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Most of those times are closer to 45 minutes to an hour. And I do lots of stuff while I'm out here. We will play and run around. I'll check his water, fill his tub if it's hot. I'll sit on his house and he'll come sit with me and we'll just spend some time together. He'll lay down and we'll just relax. A lot of times he'll lay down in the kennel while I'm out here scrolling through my phone, doing nothing. They really are just about having their pack close to them. I don't necessarily have to be interacting with him or doing much with him. In fact, these animals kind of prefer it that way. They just want to be able to be near their pack. If it is nice and it's not muddy and nasty out here, we just got a lot of rain come through the other day. So I'm not going to take him inside right now. If it had been dry out here for a day or two, there's no mud, I'm happy to take him inside. And of course, depending on how cool it is in the house will depend on how long he will want to stay in the house. And then, of course, as the weather gets nice now, we will, of course, be going downtown a lot. We do spend, there's many, many days we spent 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours walking back and forth through Old Town, just talking to people about wolves and about Dvorak, answering lots of questions. So he does get out. I take him to the car wash with me. Should we go to Lowe's or Home Depot? Anywhere he can go with me, I will take him. So Dvorak does get out quite a bit. As you guys know, are you chasing your tail? But I do get him out as much as I can. One, to keep him well socialized, and two, hi. I know. No, I don't need you jumping up on me right now. You just want to give me kisses? Well, I think I can handle the kisses. Thank you very much. And for those of you wondering, did I just stick my mouth on his teeth and give him kisses after he chewed on that nasty thing? I absolutely did. As gross as it is, this is an animal that is very bonded with their pack, obviously. That includes nibbling on each other's faces. When they greet each other, they will kiss inside of each other's mouths and lick their teeth. And that is part of bonding with an animal like this, is engaging in activities that are natural to him. As gross as it may sound, that's just part of what you got to do. Yeah, I know. That made you happy. I gave you some kisses. As gross as it is, it's just something you got to do. A lot of people need to understand that you have to speak these animals' language. They're canids. They're not humans. When you start to speak their language, that's when you really start to form a bond with them. So let me look at the chat here real quick, guys. So we got Nirvana's asking if he is good and safe around children. And like with any animal, even good ones, obviously they are animals. They can be unpredictable at times. But to answer the question, yes, Dvorak does love children. Typically when we're out, the first people, like the order he wants to greet people in, if there's kids around, he wants to see the kids first. If there's animals around, he'll want to see the animals first, and then the kids, and then the adults. Again, these animals form very different bonds with different people and other animals. It's not like a blanket that you throw over top of a category, and one size fits all. These animals, as we've talked about many times before, are extremely intelligent. So they can differentiate the difference between different people and different types of animals. I'm beginning to learn the types of animals that Dvorak is tolerant of now that he's more of an adult, and the animals he is less tolerant of. It doesn't mean that he is mean to the ones that he is less tolerant of. He is just quicker to let them know that he's not as tolerant of them or their behavior. But Dvorak does love children. He is good around them. In fact, he will... I've seen him with 8-week-old, 9-week-old puppies, and he will lay down and let them crawl and jump all over him. So he's very aware that with small children and small animals that he needs to tone it down and be more gentle. So again, he is very good with children. He's obviously good with other animals. And again, I'm going to try and get you guys to see some of that when we go out this summer. But these animals, again, do not come like that. This is with decades of experience and tons of work every single day. This is not a when you feel like it job. This is not a job for the weak at heart. This is not a job for someone that does not have the right experience or education. And even as good as he is, I get comments from people all the time that he is so well behaved that, he acts very, very well mannered. And, I laugh at that because he knows that when we're out, he needs to be well mannered or I'll take him home. And he understands that. So he is, for the most part, very good while we're out. But again, that doesn't mean that these animals, because of what he is not or could be dangerous. I mentioned in the last stream that it is a management of their behavior and their environment, and just a constant monitoring, of the two. So anytime he is with a child, with anybody really, but especially children and small animals, especially around animals, period. I'm super vigilant with him. I do not take my eyes off of him. I approach the kids or animals differently with him and make sure that he is behaving appropriately and greeting appropriately. I still do these things with adults, although I trust him more to act more appropriately right away with an adult than I do a child or another animal. That just comes with being more cautious. Again, not that I don't trust him with these things, but again, they are animals and you need to be always on the guard because it only takes a second for him or somebody to do something he is not okay with and they're not aware he is not okay with. And next thing you know, someone's missing a finger or a hand. And really at no fault of his own. He's just doing what, he believes is appropriate for the situation, which is why, I have to constantly keep my eyes on him. And part of why I decided to get a chest rig to try and make this easier so that when I do get some video footage of him interacting with people when we do go out this summer, it will make it easier for me to control him now that it is just me here and make that experience better for the people that he is interacting with. I do, but they are no longer here with me. So I am here by myself. I'm sure you probably heard, I'm sure you probably heard that, adults will, ow, that hurts. I know you didn't do it on purpose, Bubba, but damn, that hurt. And nail just caught my hand and dug in as he was jumping off of me. Nothing is forever. And that holds true with relationships sometimes. Unfortunately, sometimes those come to an end, even when they're not bad. But when they're just not as good as they could be, the best thing is to do when you love someone to let them go. And that was a better option for everybody involved. Oh, looks like he's that's going to be the one thing I have to deal with, was him yanking the phone around and moving on the chest strap. No, hey, enough. You chew on me all you want. Here, let's let everybody see you be a monster. You can chew on me all you want. I'm not letting go of you. Just so you know, he's not really biting down on me. He's just protesting. Enough. Thank you. I don't have anything, honey. My hand is completely empty. Yeah, there's that chicken smell in my hand. Where's your chicken at? Let's see if we can find the piece of... See, my hand's fine. He didn't do anything. He left some marks in it from chewing on it a little bit, but he wasn't doing anything but protesting. Where'd your chicken go? Here. Eat your chicken. Do you want to eat your chicken? No? All right. Well, that's fine. You don't have to eat it. Yeah, no problem. Always, like I've told you guys, I'm always happy to answer whatever questions you have. If I if I can, or am able to share whatever it is you're asking about. It's not too cold today. It was about 65 degrees today. The sun was out, no clouds, just a light breeze up here in the mountains. So all in all, a good day. I'm sure off the mountain here it was probably maybe 5 or 6, 7 degrees warmer. That is part of what you have to deal with living here in the mountains, is that as spring comes, it stays cooler longer. And as winter comes, it gets colder quicker. And it does stay colder up here, or get more cold up here than it does off the mountain, obviously. We are at a higher elevation, so woo, that was a big jump. But the good thing about that is in the summer, when it's blazing hot during the day, in the evening as the sun starts to get down over the tops of the trees, it does cool down rather quickly, and then it gets nice and cool at night. Many nights where people off of a mountain are still dying in the heat and like, my God, it's midnight, it should be nice outside. Here on the mountain, it usually gets into the 60s, and the humidity kind of calms down in the evening, so typically evenings here in the mountains are quite pleasant. There are very few that are muggy. For the most part during the summer, it is very nice at night here. So there is one plus side to that. Don't you do it. Go find something to do. Yeah, snack time. Paw-to-paw combat, right? He does. Dvorak loves to play fight and rough house and all that stuff. Told you guys before that he is, when they play 120%. He is go. These animals, again, are very mouthy. So, and as they should be, as a canid, they don't have fingers like we do. So, of course, they use their mouth for everything. And it's like a mouth on steroids, basically, when they want to play. You get a lot of paws thrown at you. It feels like when he swings, because he does this kind of stuff where he'll swing his arms and his front legs around at my face when he comes to jump at me, like he's on my back right now. And those claws, like we've talked about before, they are able to articulate their knuckles much like we can. So he's able to move his knuckles like this. Would you get off of me? So when he jumps up on me and grabs me, those claws dig in, and man, do they hurt. He's not trying to hurt me, but unfortunately, it's just part of dealing with this animal. Their teeth hurt. They are much more developed than a dog's teeth. They are larger, more shaped, if that makes any sense to you. So they do hurt a lot more when he bites down on you, even when they're just playing. When he throws his legs around at me, it's like baseball bats coming at you. It's just something, it's like their bones are just super hard. And then those claws, man, I tell you, like a lot of his claws are hidden underneath a lot of that fur in his paw. But I tell you what, his claws are probably about 1.5 inches or 1 3/4 long. And as he's grown, they are starting to get very sharp. I'm going to walk outside the kennel here because he is not paying any attention to me. He will not leave me alone, and I don't want to get clawed up. As you can see, better from the other day now. This is what he did to my arms the other day. You can kind of see more of the damage he did of the couple of minutes we were playing. I'm getting a bruise on this arm now down here. But playing with these animals is as enjoyable as it is, hurts. I told you guys it's a painful type of love. And there's not a day that goes by that his teeth or his claws or his bones don't do something to me. I have got scratches all over my back and my chest. He's good for scratching my neck, my arms, and my hands. Obviously spend a lot of time in those teeth. So this, again, is an animal you are going to get beat up with playing. Yeah, I'm fine. He's not hurting me. Basically shunning him, just ignoring him. This is a way that you get them to understand that their behavior is not appropriate. So I just remove myself from the situation. Usually I will just leave completely and go inside. That's typically the best way to shun them. You just turn your back and walk away. You gonna play with your deer antler? I said, go boy. There you go. Chew on that if you're bored. Say, and here's all of this is because he's bored. He's jumping and looking for stuff to chew, and now he's just going to pace back and forth here along the fence line. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts chewing on the fence again. This is all just deviancy, really, just being a butt because I'm ignoring him. And that's fine. He needs to understand, and he does understand. But his mind is bored, so he's trying to fill it with stuff to do. And he's pretty good at doing that. He keeps looking up at me out of the corner of his eyes, hoping that I'll tell him to stop digging. He's trying different things is what he's doing. He's trying to see what works. He's processing what's going on in his brain, and he's trying to find something that I won't be okay with him doing. But the less I pay attention to him, the more he'll understand that I really don't care. And eventually he'll stop. See, here he goes. He's going to start chewing on the wood. But I'm just going to ignore him. See, now that I've turned away from him, he stopped. So he'll get the idea. He will get the idea. Yeah, the problem is, my breeder is getting out of doing wolves, and because she knows that I have as much experience as I do and have done so well with it, he's going to try and open the gate now. Because I've done so well with him, she offered me to take his mother. And she is just not where he is. No, you know better. You know better. See, he's just going to be a butt. So I will walk out completely now. That doesn't mean he'll stop necessarily because I'm still out here, but I will walk away completely. But I was given an opportunity to take his mother, and I turned that down because she is not at the same level where he is. She is in a kennel all day. She only gets maybe a half an hour of time with people or her owner at night, and her kids once in a while, which is rare. She does not trust her animals around her kids because they're not socialized as well as he is. And although I would have loved to have had her and hopefully changed that with her and gotten her to the point where Dvorak is, knowing that my time here was coming to possibly be alone and some other things, having another animal and undertaking that with one that is an adult, vice a puppy that you can train as they grow and instill certain things into them. I just knew that it wouldn't be fair to Dvorak. It wouldn't be fair to her. It wouldn't be fair to me. So, unfortunately, I chose not to. Hey, enough. Do I need to come in there? I chose not to take her. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Enough. Enough. See, he wants to play. This is his way of... I'll show you what he's doing. He's biting this out. Enough. Leave it alone. Come on. But again, I didn't think that was fair to everybody to be able to take Dvorak out and not her. Hey, come on. Want a treat? That got your attention, huh? Do you want a treat? I know this is bad. I don't even have any treats. Come on. Let's go find some stuff. But this is part of what it's like with these animals. If you're not going to engage with them, they are very destructive. Hey, come on. This is why they eat through people's homes. This is why they will, dig 40-foot tunnels and make, dens for themselves. They will do all kinds of things. Hey, enough. Enough. If you want to chew on something, you chew on this. But they will do all kinds of things. And I've told you guys before, they can chew through metal. No, you're not going to chew on the wood. I'm going to have to assert some dominance here for him to understand that this is not going to be acceptable. But they can chew through metal. And I'm going to have to assert some dominance here to get him to understand I'm not going to let him do this. And he's going to protest. He's clawing at my arms. He'll probably start chewing on me at some point. He's trying to pull me away from the post right now. So this is all protest and telling me, I know. Thank you. Why can't you just behave? Why can't you just behave, honey bunny? Why can't you just behave? Why can't you just get? No. No, don't make me knock your head with it. Don't make me knock your head with it. You're not going to chew on it. He's going to continue to try and protest and find ways to get over here and chew on this. So I'm just going to stick my body in front of it and take ownership of it. You can have this. You just can't. You can't have the post. You cannot have the post. Let me catch up with chat here for a second, guys. Give me just 1 minute. Giving him the most attention is really just interacting and playing with him. He gets very, very into playing. So that's probably the thing I can do the most to really interact with him is just come out here and play. And he loves to play. I try. Thank you. Appreciate that. I try to let Dvorak know that he is well loved and well cared for. He gets everything he needs. There are times I'll get comments of people saying, how dare you cage him up. This is a 3,000 square foot cage. It's not an acre, but this is bigger than most animals have. So he does have plenty of room to run around out here. We do chase each other around out here. He can get going quite well in here when he wants to run. He does occupy his time on his own, even when I'm not out here. Oops, looks like it turned over when I bent over here. He will run around out here and toss stuff around. I see him out here playing, tossing sticks and treats and food and all kinds of stuff. He's climbing on my back. Excuse me if he's bumping me around, but this stuff hurts. So he will occupy time out here by himself just fine. He will find things to do to occupy his time that are fun to him. He has a rope out here. It's hanging out down here. He will drag that up and toss it around and go chase it. So he will find things to do when he's bored out here. He'll grab sticks. That's why I have so much mulch out here from when we cleared this for his kennel. He will take sticks and chew on them. He will sit and watch the birds. Dvorak does love to bird watch. So he will sit out here and watch birds and all kinds of stuff. So he will find stuff to do when he is bored. He is very good at finding things to do when he needs something to do, whether it be destructive or not. But he will find something to do with his time. Again, if you all are not subscribed to the channel, we want to encourage you to subscribe and become a pack member. We'd love to have new pack members here with us. And of course, while you're rooting around the channel, don't be shy. Go ahead and kick that notification bell around a little bit and get it to ring. And when you do so, that'll let you know when we go live. And of course, when we post something on the channel, so that way you're always up to date with what's going on here in the pack and with Dvorak. No, that's okay. I'm glad you stopped by and you were able to. Hope you will, excuse me. I hope you'll be able to stop by and join us on some more lives. You have a nice rest of your day as well. And hopefully we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. But again, for those of you that are interested in wolves and are interested in continuing to come along for the ride with Dvorak and I, we would love to have you as pack members. As always, it's free to subscribe to any channel you come across on YouTube. And we would love to have you in the pack. Absolutely. That's part of why I do what I do, is sharing Dvorak and the journey that I've been on with him since he was a teeny tiny little thing. Of course, part of that includes sharing why I have him, and what he does for me. But a lot of it's geared towards educating people about these animals, and getting rid of some of the stigma that they have. They are not the monsters that most people think they are. So we are here to try and negate some of that bad information that people get or think about these animals. Yeah, I would love to have, without having the entire world at my house, I would love to, which is part of why I get Dvorak out, so that he has other animals to play with, other friends. He does have friends. There are plenty of animals where we go downtown. So he does have several animal friends down there. And of course, he recognizes several people that work down there and that are in the area, that own businesses, or that visit the walking mall frequently on the weekends. So he is very familiar with everybody down there. He loves meeting all the new people that come into the area for vacations during the summer. He is just very, very loving and active animal, and that helps obviously when I get him out. So he's as much of an ambassador as any other animal like him, that's well behaved and can be in public. That's part of why I take him out, is to show people that when these animals are raised right, they can be well behaved. Of course, there are some caveats that come along with that, but for the most part, they can be very well behaved. But what I was saying, I would love to have a place where I could have people come. And I don't think I would want to. I'd probably have to get some kind of legal waiver. I don't think I would want to make a business out of it, but a place where I could probably have people come, just sign a waiver, saying that they understand that this animal, like any animal, can be unpredictable and could become dangerous, and that we would, of course, do our best to keep them safe and keep them out of harm's way if something were to happen. But I would love to have a place where people could get into a kennel area like this, but larger, and spend time with him. So that's really why I try and get him out as much as I can. So although he has to be leashed, it's a bit more of a controlled environment. At least I'm able to get him out, and he can spend the time around other people and animals. Yeah, I know, right? Win-win for real. Yeah, for real. I mean, I don't ever. I mean, I'll complain a bunch about, like Jesus, like he scratched me all up, or he chewed on me, or did this, or chomped my finger because I made him mad. But that's really just me talking. I don't ever get mad about Dvorak causing the stuff that he does. And I tell you, like this scratch down here on my arm, this one right here. It doesn't look like much. It looks like just a couple inch paper cut. But I can assure you, when his nail came across the bottom of my arm, it felt like a knife being slid across my arm really fast. It burned, it hurt, like bad. And I mean, I'm pretty tolerant to pain. And it shut me down for a minute, because it hurt like hell. So it doesn't look bad, but I tell you, man, that just gives you an idea of just how sharp those claws are. It took one quick second for him to swipe that claw across my arm. So it does. When I say it's a love that hurts, it is absolutely a love that hurts. But I never get mad about it. Even the time that we talked about when he did reach out in anger and nip me real good. What was that? You almost fell on your butt. I saw that. You almost fell on your butt. I don't know what that was, but you almost fell on your butt, puppy. But even the time he reached out and bit me in anger, which, again, we talked about, I caused and I was ready for. I wasn't mad about that. I knew that I caused that. I knew that I didn't have an option but to cause it. And I knew it was coming. And as much as it hurt and as frustrated as I was not mad at him for it. What are you doing? See, he's just chewing. He wants to just chew. He's jumping on me and chewing. This is all he's doing right now. Are you trying to jump over my arm? Really? Ow. You're just going to put holes in my stuff, man. Stop. Would you stop? You've already put plenty of holes in this sweatshirt. Come on. Let's go. House. House. Thank you. See? You can train him. Tell him house and he gets on his house. They are very trainable. It's just a question of, does he want to listen? See this? More dominance over the arm. Always. Always, always, always over the arm. I'm going to shake you around a bit, huh? I'm going to shake that brain around in there for you. I'm going to shake that brain around for you. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Okay. We're gonna alpha roll you. Come here. Enough. Enough. I've got him on his back now. Enough. This is kind of the ultimate. This is a very light way to do it, but I pinned him down on his back. This is what's called an alpha roll. It's asserting a dominance, putting them belly up and making them vulnerable. No, sir. Now, he doesn't listen to this very well, but his brain is processing that right now. So although he will still jump at me, he's processing what's going on. I know. See, now he's chomping my thumb, telling me like, hey, come on, let's play. Enough. That's the one command I have trouble getting him to listen to. Enough. Occasionally he will listen and stop. Other times, just that wild brain takes over and he doesn't want to listen. Enough. He knows what it means because he will stop. Enough. No. I told you enough. I'm going to go get on your house. Oh, you got up here so I couldn't? Is that what you did? So I'm going to try and pet him and give him some attention when I talk to you guys, because he is... I mean, how long have we been doing this? Half an hour now. He's been obsessively asking me for attention, jumping on me and clawing me. Oh, enough. Do I need to bite you again? Enough. Yes, I will bite him. I will grab his face with my teeth and bite him and growl at him. Enough. Like I've said, you have to communicate with them with how they know how to communicate with people. Yeah, you almost fell on your face. Enough. He's pulling my arm to him. He wants me to come hold him up. Mwah. Thank you very much. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. I can't Dvork. Enough. I can't sit here and play with you the entire time. I can't. I know that's all you want to do, but you gotta stop. Do you want me to go inside? Go find something to do. Yeah, I tell you, it can be intimidating at times to be in here with him. I mean, even for someone like me with decades of experience and, an understanding of how he thinks and acts. I'd be stupid if I let the notion go in the back of my head that if he wanted to hurt me and kill me, he would have no problem doing that. So you just can't let him know that. It's a healthy respect is what you have to have for the animal, because you don't want to be scared. Being scared would be a bad thing. You have to have a healthy respect and be willing to deal with their anger if they get angry or unruly. But if you know anything about canids, the minute you tell them you're afraid, they take advantage of it. No, they're not that bad. Like I said, they're like really deep. It's like a cut with a knife, basically. It's not horrible. It bleeds for a little bit. You put a Band-Aid on it or wrap it up or something. It stops in a few hours. In a day or so, it gets a scab. And by the time that one's healed, you'll have 10, 20 more. So again, it's just part of why I say this is a painful love with these animals, because although it's all in good fun, he's not out to hurt me. It's all just playing and him being frustrated because I'm not paying enough attention to him. None of it's done to hurt me. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably not getting the full view of him and what he's doing and how it all looks for him. But from my point of view, standing here, if I didn't know him the way I do, it would be a little unnerving to see him coming at me the way he comes at me. See, so what was that? 40 minutes of him begging to try and get my attention, and he's finally decided to walk off and do something else. So if you don't have 40 minutes of your time or more to waste trying to get them to understand, you're just not playing right now. And walking away means that he'll surely be in here destroying something to get rid of his anger or his frustration. You just got to spend the time with him. And that's why I come out here several times a day and spend a lot of time with him. For those of you that maybe don't remember, or maybe weren't with us then, or haven't heard me say this when we're talking about an animal that enjoys being in this space, believe me, he doesn't see this as a place where he's trapped. This is very much his home. He wants to be in here. And there's several different reasons I can prove that to you. The biggest one, I think, at least in my mind, with the experience I have, is that at 3 months old, Dvorak refused to keep coming in the house at night. I couldn't get him to come in the house anymore. He whined and howled, and he wanted, and the second I brought him outside, he drugged me to his kennel. And then he would come out here and he would pick one of these trees. Most of the time it was right up here, like right up around this tree area right here. He would dig himself a little hole or clear a little hole out or whatever and just sprawl out, just like the picture I have on the thumbnail for today. He would do the same thing, make himself a little spot, sprawl out, and that's where he would sleep. Now, as unassuming as that may be, think about where I live. Birds of prey, coyotes, foxes, right? This isn't an impenetrable fortress here. Any one of those animals could have come in here and eaten him. But they know, like every animal that meets him, they know that there's something different about him. They know that he's not a dog, and it's very obvious very quickly. And I just had to trust my instinct that he knew when it was time for him to be outside. So from the time he was 3 months on, he lived outside. and he has not lived in the house since. So when you want to talk about a hard part of this process is leaving, in your mind, a helpless 3-month-old puppy outside in the elements to basically fend for himself, other than the fact that he has some structure around him to protect him some. I had a lot of sleepless nights looking out here all night long, making sure that he was okay. But again, that's part of the process with these animals. Once they tell you they don't want to be in the house anymore, you got to give it up and let him be. He was born to be outside, and that's where he wants to be. Yeah, there's plenty of videos on the channel of Dvorak howling, mostly when he was a puppy, but I'm sure there's probably some other times. A bunch of the lives have some howling of us. We did a little bit of one the other day when we were on. It was a bit of a crappy howl. It was really weak, but we howled a little bit together. Do you want to howl some? Are you in the mood? My phone's getting kind of down to the point. We're about 40% battery, but it's kind of the point where it starts to get a little questionable on how fast it'll deplete itself from here on out. Do you want to try and howl a little bit? Do you want to see if we can howl for people? Come here. Let's go in your house. Come here. Come on. House. Come here. Come on. Let's howl. See, he knows what I want him to do, but he's like, I don't have any good reason to come over there right now, so yeah, like, stick it. Dvorak. Hey, let's howl. Don't you jump on me, fool. He will try and get me to catch him midair and jump on me. Don't you do it. I see it in your eyes. I'm fine. Yes, I know you always want to lick my face and make sure I'm okay every time I start howling. I know. I know. It's okay. I know. I know. I know. I know. Can we howl? Come on, let's try and howl. Come on. Come on. Oh, you found a bug? He's almost there. Sometimes it's easier to get him to howl than others. Good boy. That's our good boy. That's our good boy. That's our good boy. That's our good boy. I'm not chasing you. I'm not chasing you. That's our good boy. That's our good boy. Good howl. There you go. Another weak one, but we got him to do it. Another weak one, but we got him to do it. Sometimes he'll sit out here and howl for 30 minutes at a time, just howling away. Most of the time it's for a good reason, but he typically only howls when he has a reason to. Or if I'm out here and I decide to, like, pack howl with him. And for those of you that don't know, wolves don't howl just for no reason. Howls are used as a form of communication between wolves. Now, there's a lot more science behind it than I understand, but it's actually quite complex. So for those of you that are curious, do a bit of searching. No, you're not going to jump on me right now. Do a bit of searching. Look for some scientific articles done by like wildlife biologists about it. And there is actually, God, Dvorak, scratching me more. There is a whole lot of rabbit hole to go down when it comes to information about their howls, how they use them, the frequencies that they're at, and what those different things mean within the pack. Oh boy. Yeah. He has this thing with chasing his tail scythe. I don't know what it is. But he does it when he's out here alone too. And he'll go around and around and around for like 15, 20 seconds. It's freaking hilarious. Yeah, I told y'all he has a screw loose. Like, like there's something loose in his head for sure. Just like he randomly will just start chasing his tail for no reason. So he's definitely got a couple screws loose. But he's a good boy. Yeah, I think we've all got a couple screws loose. We definitely all have a couple screws loose for sure. I mean, what really is normal, right? Like that's a human construct. Just like time, like days of the week, just like anything we do. It's all human construct. There is no really normal. It's what we accept as normal as individuals. I'm good. I'm hoping that tonight when we go in there, I see those subscription numbers skyrocket. Love to have more members of the pack, more people joining us on a daily basis. That would be great, or at least when we're out here. I don't want to say daily, but more people joining us when we are out here doing lives or downtown doing lives, which hopefully I'm going to figure out how to work with him. People around here, although they're very friendly, just like with anywhere you go, some of them, even though you're out in public and you have no expectation of privacy in public, some people think that they're lawyers and judges and that they know the law and that you can't record them. I haven't run into a lot of that here, but, definitely run into a lot of interesting individuals down there. So we'll see how that goes once I get down there and strap this to my chest and see if anybody says anything. I don't think we'll have a problem with it. Most people there are pretty friendly. Would you stop? And of course, we will definitely get Mr. Dan and JMO, Dvorak's girlfriend, in a stream while we're doing some live streaming. Look at this. Let me try and look at him. Got his claws dug into me. I've got an entire fistful of nothing but skin and fur. Would you stop? No. I've got to look at this. Sometimes I have to literally drag him to the fence to be able to leave without him clawing me. No. And the second I get outside the gate, he stops. Nope. Stay. 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 No, sir. You stay. That. Stay. No, you're gonna let your nose get you in trouble. You stay. No, I told you to stay. Come on, kennel. Then get back in your kennel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You get back in your kennel then. I'm going to step outside of the kennel since we're still doing okay. I'm going to lock the kennel up. We'll talk about anything else you guys want to finish up talking about. Here's more of those glorious pink bags that I'm trying to get rid of. But we'll talk about anything you guys want to talk about for another moment or so while we wrap this up. I'm getting tired. Look, he's already got me bleeding again. So more scratches as usual. We will I'll walk around the kennel because he's going to have a fit if I just stand here and talk. So we'll just walk right outside along the outside of the kennel here. In fact, if y'all will give me a minute, I'll take the phone out of the chest rig here. That way I'm able to see it a little bit better and not make it so bouncy, because this is a little bit rougher than being inside the kennel. Well, okay, Faith, you're right. There is a big difference. Well, this depends. There can be a big difference. Most wolf dogs are dogs. However, some wolf dogs are wolves. Dvorak is an example of a high content animal that does have a tiny bit of dog DNA, but he is a wolf. He is an example of a wolf dog that is a wolf. He is almost all wolf. He is a third generation, so he only has 2 generations before him. One of those generations was, of course, naturally wild. So I can't argue with that. But what most people don't realize is that some animals like this are wolves, and most animals like this are dogs with long removed wolf content. So there is a difference. But again, Dvorak is a specimen or an example of an animal like this that is an actual wolf. I know there's a lot of people out there that like to argue that point with me, and I'm not a wolf biologist. I'm not a wildlife biologist. I don't claim to be, but I am very educated in what I do, and I am very well connected with people that have been doing this decades longer than even I have. I have reached out and spoken to many wildlife biologists that do nothing but deal with wolves. This is what they went to college for. This is all they do. I've gone over that point with them. Again, people that I reach out to that, again, have been doing this even longer than I have. And we're all pretty much in agreement. Most of these animals are dogs that have some content of wolf DNA in them. But that DNA is long and far removed. So it is a dog or a canine that has the content of a wolf. However, again, there are some of these animals, very few of them, there are not many, that are wolves with very recent wolf ancestry. Dvorak has a very clean, long, but very recent wolf ancestry in his blood. His bloodline is actually quite rare. The people that bred his parents and then those animals' parents are very picky about the animals they get and where they get them from and how they keep those bloodlines very clean. But an animal, again, like Dvorak, that has a very high content of recent wolf ancestry. And because of that, subsequently, what was called an F-gen or a low F-gen animal, typically within the first 3 generations, sometimes 4, depending on who you talk to. Those animals are wolves that just have dog DNA. And speaking of such, since we're bringing that up, haven't had anybody bring that up in a while, but since it got brought up, I told you guys, and I've told you for some time now, that as he got older, probably when he was 2, maybe possibly even wait till he was 3, and the technology advanced even further, that I would have him tested again. It's no secret what his content level is. I've talked about it before on the channel, but I don't tend to harp on it or really mash it into people's brains, because I know that there's more content in there than what I currently am aware of. His DNA is on profile with the university that tested it. They are the most accurate and only university in the world that can accurately test for 99.99% accuracy for wolf DNA. That's who I had him tested with. So his test results are extremely solid, and they do match everything I know about him and his family and his roots. I just reached out to one of their DNA biologists the other day, and I'm waiting to get a response back for them to see what generation of the technology they are on. If they have advanced to the one I'm thinking they may be on now, I will likely get him retested here in the coming weeks, and get an updated number on his DNA percentages. Based on mom and dad, there is a simple formula that you can do. It's not 100% accurate, but it gets you pretty dang close. Dvorak should be in the mid or upper 80s, so he should be almost 90%. So we'll see when I get him retested what those numbers come out to. And likely I will wait another year again, even if I do get him tested here in the coming weeks. I will have him tested again when he is probably 3, and then again at 4, and they may even do it again at 5. That way I have his first 5 years as that technology progresses and increases and gets better, to continue to get an updated profile on where it is, or if it stops at year 3 and year 4 is the same and year 5 is the same, then I think we'll pretty much be pretty solid about where his content level actually is, which again is why I don't talk a lot about it, or I don't stress it, because I know it's likely not correct where it is right now. It should be more. So again, here in the coming weeks, I'll probably reach out to them and have them do that once I get an answer back from the biologist there. And then when I get those results, of course, we will get on and we'll talk about it and we'll share it. And we will probably leave it at that until the next year comes around and when I have him tested again, and we'll see what comes out then. And then, of course, share those results and talk about that some more and see what roads that might take us down. But it has been great seeing everybody in the stream this evening. We had some really good numbers tonight. I'm glad that people took some time to take some time out of their evening and spend some time with Dvorak and I. We really appreciate you guys stopping by. We, of course, again, would love to have you subscribe and become PAC members. And again, like I keep saying, knock around that notification bell so that way you know when we do go live and post things on the channel. We would love to have you join us on our lives. I don't really have much of a schedule, so I'm sorry to say that there is no really regular here. I just do this when I have time or the mood strikes me. But I'm going to try and do it as much as we can, or as much as I have time for. So again, appreciate everyone stopping by. Glad to see a lot of new people stopping in from different countries. Really enjoyed seeing that this evening. And of course, as always, guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. And until next time, PAC, we're out.